9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, Silver Squad, and welcome back to our live breakdown of Amazon Prime's hit show, The Boys. My name is RJ. I'm your host for this evening, and as always, I'm joined by Team Silversight, my co-host Lou.
Yo, what up, what up, what up?
And Corey.
Yo.
What up? Today we're going to be breaking down episode 7, Butcher, Baker, Candlestick Maker, and here to help us break it all the way down, we have our good friends, Desiree from Movie Vibes with Desiree, and Hero Harrison from Hero Harrison Talk.
Yeah.
Welcome, guys. Welcome back. Thank you for coming. It's been a while. We've been, meaning to get you back on. So glad you could make it and help us break down this crazy episode. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. We're going to start off with Queen Maeve, the Deep and A-Train storyline. We see Maeve is dealing with the fallout from Elena watching the plane footage, and the Deep is being brainwashed, all while A-Train is starting to see that the Church of the Collective may not be as it seems. So I want to start off with our guests. What do you feel? How do you feel Elena is handling the situation with Maeve?
Oh, I think that she is reacting exactly the right way in that moment of finding out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Elena, I think she's shocked about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Harrison?
In my opinion, I think honestly that's the way someone's gonna react when you find out something, about that. Because I think that relationship has already been screwed up from the beginning, just because she already knew that she had powers.
Yeah.
So I feel like she kind of setting herself up, and putting both of them in danger. So instead of just ending it a long time ago.
Yeah. I kind of there was a instant where she said, well, you wanted to know everything and you wanted to be involved, and it's like you wanted the truth and now you can't handle the truth. And I kind of feel for Maeve, because it's like, yo, I tried to tell you that this is not a game, and you begged and pleaded and pried your way in, and now I let you in, and now you can't handle it, and now you're about to run.
But I mean, I can see what's going on. It's kind of like she wasn't expecting something like that. So I'm sure that she knew she was a suit from whenever. I don't know if she actually told her she was a suit or how their relationship from the beginning started or how it was in the beginning. But it's one thing to kind of want to know the person, but then when you're getting to know this person, you're finding out all these crazy things that they're capable of.
Yeah.
Kind of to the point where, like, well, as far as this relationship goes, what is she capable of in regards
Yeah.
to my relationship with her?
Okay. What do you feel about it, Corey?
Yeah, she just couldn't handle the truth. I mean, basically.
It's one of those situations to where it's like, be careful what you ask for. It's sort of like when you want the truth, but do you really want the truth? I think sometimes when you're on that outside looking in, you think you can handle it, and then when you get there, it's just something you can't deal with. So segueing, because Maeve has a really small. This whole season, her storyline has been really, really minuscule. And it's one of those things where you hope that eventually we will get to a point where she has a more involved storyline, but I don't really see that happening in one episode, because we only have one episode left. Hold on. Apparently there's an echo somewhere. Hold on. We're working on it, guys. Yeah, so that's something that we're dealing with. Hold on, technical problems. All right, cool. Well, we'll work on it. Y'all work on your sound while we're still talking. So let's move on to the American Vought horror story Cult, where we have the Deep and A-Train digging deeper into the Church of the Collective. Yeah, this whole storyline is very intriguing to me because I know people who have been found by these kind of cult like, I guess, religions, for lack of a better word, who have found them when they're at their lowest point, and we end up seeing them engulfed in this religion. So let's talk about that a little bit. I'll kick it over to you, Lou. What are your thoughts on the whole Deep A Train storyline?
Well, as I said last week, I feel like the Church of the Collective are trying to gather their team of suits because they're planning. I feel like they're going to plan some kind of coup d'état against Paul. So the only way to fight Paul is to have suits of their own. So if they can't brainwash you to the point of where they want you to be, where if I tell you to do this or I tell you that this is how I want things to play out, then you're just not going to be part of what's going on here at the church.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I feel like now, like things are starting to come to fruition now. Things are,
Yeah.
people are going to find out more about this. I might be jumping way ahead, but the fact that they kicked Eagle Eye, that's,
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
remember his name, but yeah,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, I feel you on that. Yeah. The thing is that I feel like the Church of Collective is just another corrupt organization in my opinion, and
Yeah.
I don't think it's what it sounds like. But I mean, they definitely collect something, but we just don't know what it is. And I feel like they collect people's souls because I feel like uh, people like Eagle and Archer would do something to sell their souls. Um, because I think that people don't know who he really is because he's not in the comics. He's done like a lot of dirty stuff apparently, but and I think that's what's going to happen is that a lot of secrets are going to get revealed about him, and people aren't going to like that.
I definitely
Okay.
agree with that. And I would also say that I don't necessarily, and I think no one does, but I don't trust this church, this cult, and I don't trust what they're saying about Eagle. I think
Okay.
that something might have, I think there's something deeper there. I don't know. Maybe they're like blackmailing him and everything, but I don't know. I can't wait to find out exactly what's going on with that situation. But yeah, they like to present themselves as if they're like these wonderful saints, but no, they're not. So I'd like to hear Eagle's side of the story. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit.
Mm. Oh no,
Um,
we're right here. We're gonna talk about everything that Eagle has going on, including the mounting of the deer, his deer partner.
Yeah, what's up with that?
What?
That was a
I,
little suspect. I was like,
yeah, a little.
right. It's like, what?
so like
All the way suspect.
I guess he
and
was
then the way
planning to
the way
shoot
that
it.
they introduced the picture of the deer, talking about when he goes to hunt and he hunts and mounts the deer.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's odd, man. Like and was it because they released it because they said he didn't want to cut off his mother?
Yeah.
Right.
Like you leak a sensitive moment because I won't cut my mom off. I'm not cutting my mom off for nothing. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Y'all gonna have to release the tape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yup.
But
like
do
there's
it.
no ifs ands or buts about that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and the whole thing is crazy because it's so funny how they just excommunicated him, and that speaks to just how I guess tight knit these cults are, and some cult like religions, to where if you're not a part of it, you gotta go. We can't talk to you. We can't be around you. Just you're just excommunicated. You're gone. And yeah, it's one of those things where I really hope that this plays out to where they get out of this, because I think A Train is starting to see that this is a bunch of bullshit. You
Exactly.
know?
If he doesn't see that it's a bunch of BS, then he's a bunch of BS.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yeah, all the
He's been
way. Yeah,
sipping the
he's
press for too
full of it.
long if he hasn't seen it.
But do you think that the deep do you think he'll start to see the error of the church's ways, or do you think he's just hooked at this point?
Oh
I
no,
th-
I think he sees it.
I think he's just hooked on both. I think he sees it, but I think he's just like whatever. I'll do whatever it takes to get back into that. Even if I have to show my gills, because those gills are nasty. So,
Oh yeah. They're gross, man. They're all the way gross, and yeah, it's definitely okay. Yeah, like what Blur Up said, it's a sign. It's so similar to Scientology. It's one of those things where you can't get out if you're either all the way in or you're all the way out. And to speak what Zah says, like it's a deep denial that he's having right now. But like I feel like once I don't even think he'll get into this back into seven definitely, but I feel like he'll start to see it when he doesn't get what he wants.
Right.
Yep.
Then he'll start questioning them.
So who it was Alistair that said he had a meeting with Edgar. Do we know what his affiliation with Edgar is, or is it just like do you
It's
think
just a
Vod might be
business
with the
business type
collective?
deal.
Oh,
No,
okay, so it's a business deal.
yeah,
Hey,
it's
Louis,
just
microphone is out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have myself muted.
Oh, okay.
I was like, what?
But yeah, in my opinion, as far as the deep goes, I think he's starting to realize all the things that maybe we as watchers started to realize as far as the whole uh, Church of the Collective. He wants in he wants back into the seven so badly that he was willing to believe what they were telling him. Oh, let's do this. We're gonna do this with you, and we're gonna guarantee that you get back in the seven.
Hmm.
So now that things are kind of falling apart, because you can tell that he was good friends with Eagle Eye. I hope that's his name. That's what I'm gonna call him.
Eagle
But
the
you can
Archer.
tell that
Eagle Archer. Eagle Eye's the movie with Shia
Eagle
LaBeouf.
Archer.
it's a great movie. Great movie.
It
It's
is
a
a
good
really good
movie
movie.
though.
It's a really good movie.
He was good friends with him. So I think at this point, the fact that they kicked him out is kind of making him see differently about the Church of the Collective.
Mm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I agree with you on that. Because this is like you said. I mean, he will do anything to get himself back into the seven, just because I guess he wants to prove himself to mainly to women that he's a good guy. And it's just not working out for him. So, in my opinion, I think he just needs to stop. Because I mean, he's not going to repair that relationship with those fish or anybody in the ocean because
Yeah.
after that whale stuff. So, I mean, he's got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Definitely has a long way to go. Hopefully, he gets pulled up by someone, because I don't think the Deep is going to do it. So let's segue into Soup Saves America and Stormfront and their Stormfront Homelanders Magator, to where they're spewing, rhetoric, and is there's a situation where there's a guy who ends up shooting a corner store worker after I guess falling I don't want to say falling victim, but I guess he got kind of brainwashed by the media into thinking that these soup terrorists are everywhere and all of that stuff. And I feel like it's one of those things where it doesn't surprise me because we see this in our everyday lives now. We see people end up kind of brainwashed by the media into thinking that there's this invisible villain out there, and we kind of see it play out. And then Stormfront and I about to say Homestar Runner. Here we go again. Homelander kind of take advantage of that. So let's dive into that. Corey, what do you think about the whole superhero Magator?
uh,
You're muted. You're like super muted. There you
I
go.
am. All right. So yeah. So I just thought it was crazy how they were just like keep America safe again, like just enforcing become like trying to spread compound V on everybody to get the maximum number of soups they possibly can to combat the soup terrorists that the quote unquote soup terrorists
Yeah.
that they created in the first place, which is almost kind of like how we gave weapons of mass destruction to people, and then stuff happened.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It 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 was just funny to me just to see them rallying the morons
Hmm.
with generic rhetoric and just the easiest. Like, how do you fall for that, man? Like, how do you? I didn't understand it. It was the most generic phrases, and they're just like, yeah, yeah, you're a soup terrorist. I just none of it made any sense to me, and it's so American. It's almost scary to
Yeah, this is
watch.
America.
Doesn't it remind you?
Yeah, this is America.
Yeah.
Same.
To me, it's that whole thing of just like, I know my rights. I'm gonna do
Yep.
what I want.
Exactly.
So, and in that situation, this is one of those things where people feel like they are scared and they need to be protected. So, and they'll do whatever it takes. And like you were saying, the media is brainwashing people into thinking that, if you see something like a person act like a certain way, they're automatically labeled in this category. And that's what Black people go through in America every day. And if I just don't understand how you could be blind to that. So I mean, it's real life. Like this is a reflection of real life almost. So, and that scene where he walked in, he thought he saw his eyes change, and at that point, he's like automatically assumed that he's a soup, and so he's put in that category. So that's why the next day when he came into that story, he had the gun. He's like, "So you one of them?" Because he saw his eyes change, and then that was it. So it's messed up. It's crazy.
That that beginning scene was intense. That beginning scene, like from the way it starts to where it's just a regular Joe, you see him with his Stormfront poster on his wall, and he, he's watching the news, and there's, Homelander and Storefront or whatever the news are spewing their garbage, and then you see him go in his day by day, but you can see him kind of grow with the beginning scene where he's absorbing everything that's being said on the news, things that's being said. Stormfront, it looks like Stormfront is his favorite soup, I guess would be. But and then to go into the store, a store that you go in, from what it seems, he goes into that store every day.
Every
So
day.
he knows the clerk or the the cashier. He knows him. So for him to see his eyes change or his eyes shine or whatever, he comes back and he shoots him in the face like, "Are you bulletproof?" Like, that's crazy. That for me, that beginning scene was very intense.
It definitely was. And I feel like that beginning scene was also necessary in a way. It's just another example of the fact that your words carry weight when you are a public figure, a celebrity, whatever. And super terrorists equal immigrants, Homelander? Or I'm sorry, not Homelander, Stormfront,
Yep.
Basically.
where he has the
Yeah.
same beliefs.
Definitely was an allegory for that.
Yeah.
I caught on to that. It was really clever to, the way they kind of match it up with what's going on now. Definitely some genius writing on the part of writers to kind of connect those two. This is the worst people to team up, I swear. So let's get on to now. I'll say this: Stormfront has been getting on my nerves for a minute now, but I feel like this episode in particular, she really burned me up, and it was almost hard for me to watch her kind of like taunting Rebecca, because it's sort of like, I mean, we all know Stormfront can just murder Rebecca like it's nothing, and for her to just outwardly just taunt and undermine her parenting, her rule set, her of her child, it was such a hard thing to watch. It's sort of like when. When you're a kid and your grandparents, undermine your parents' authority. It was sort of like that. And as an adult watching, another, well, not another, I don't got no kids. Um, as an adult watching it, it just kind of, grinded my gears that um, she just completely just disrespected her in her own home. So what were your thoughts on that?
I think she wanted to see the light go out of her eyes.
Mm,
That's just my opinion, as she
yeah.
described in episodes before. But yeah, she wanted to see her suffer.
Honestly, I'd be like, who the hell are you coming to my house like this? So that'd be my first question. I'd be like, oh, you a soup. But um, at the same time, I mean, I feel like she was doing the right thing, but by trying to protect him because he knew that. I mean, she knew that Homelander was trying to take what she loved the most from her, and that was scary. That's scary to her because that's the only thing that she has, and she doesn't want him to turn evil, which we might see because just that's another form of brainwashing, um, and that poor little kid stuck in the middle because he's being yanked from both sides, saying no, you like this, no, you're supposed to be like this. So um, he's gonna figure it out on his own eventually, I think. So he might kill everybody for all we know.
A Brightburn situation. For those
Ooh,
who
man.
Yeah,
movie.
it's kind of it's crazy when I watched that scene because it's like y'all came in and straight up bogarted the kid. Like y'all kidnapped this lady's son, and the whole time I kind of felt it coming. Like I wanted to say, like, I was thinking in my head, like Storefront's gonna kill him. Storefront's gonna kill Becca. They're gonna raise this kid on their own, and he's gonna be some evil, crazy spook between a mixture between Homelander and Storefront. But that just they stole him. They pretty much they kidnapped him pretty much.
Yeah. They taunted and then stole him.
Right. No court, no nothing. Like, can we at least go through a custody system? Like,
No filing for custody, nothing. Just
right.
ran off with the
Don't take
kid.
my child.
No mercy. Just and what was so heartbreaking about that was they waited until they had him alone to fly him up to and see that it was fake. And I feel
Exactly.
like she wasn't the one who put that in place. She was needed protection from him. He raped her,
Yeah.
and 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 she's the bad guy.
Exactly.
Mind blowing, bro.
Yeah.
Manipulative.
Goodness.
Super manipulative. I she's burned me up with her racism, but this episode for some reason was really hard for me to watch because she was literally deckling
Well, I know you've been.
Homelander in front of his face.
Oh, I was gonna say, I know you've been talking a lot of smack about her recently on Instagram. So I'm right there with you, though, man. Because I mean, here's the thing: is just that Stormfront in the beginning, everybody I think that watched this show, we were like, oh, cool, like we love her. She's cool. You can be a part of Seven.
Yeah.
But then as she started doing a little bit more like grimier things throughout the episode, you're like, hold on a second. And then when we started seeing the racist
Yeah.
come out of her, we're just like, okay, this is a whole different subject now. So I think it's just crazy how somebody that we don't know, the people, don't the people of Vought that don't know how Stormfront is and her past history. It's just gonna come down falling on everybody. I feel like. And it's not going to be good because I feel like he's more powerful or just as powerful as Homelander. So
No, we gonna see. It's definitely gonna end up coming to blows because I don't think Becca. I mean, she's a human, normal human. She's a non-suit, but I don't think she's gonna take that line down.
No.
She's been through enough. Something's gonna happen. She's gonna find a way um, to get her son back and to get Homelander and Stormfront for running off with their kid. Let's segue into the boys a little bit. So we see Lamplighter is informing on Stormfront to Congress, but they need more to seal the deal. They need more evidence, and they need to know why Vought wants to make more heroes or supers. Butcher receives a call from his mother while Mother's Milk and Grace Mallory head to former Vought scientist Dr. Vogelbaum to get him to testify, and Grace Mallory tells Frenchie and serves to keep an eye on Congresswoman Victoria Newman. So let's start with Frenchie, who I am now Team Frenchie. Yes, I'm now convinced that Frenchie's a good guy. So we see him kind of give a backstory into what his mother was like, and he kind of tries to appeal to And I have a question before I go on about this. So she could always understand English.
I think so in the comics, yeah.
Okay, because I was a little confused on that. Because I was on the assumption that she just didn't know what anybody was saying,
Mm.
and then So can you? So for me, it just was weird when people were talking to her, and she was just like, yeah, okay. So I'm like, oh, so she understands English. She just can't
Yeah, I
communicate
mean,
it.
you would naturally grasp it over time, being engulfed in it like that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if not, then I mean, you can see that she understands, body language pretty well. So um, that's another
Okay.
way I guess of looking at it.
Because it just was weird to me. She had a book in her hand like one time, and she was like doing letters and stuff like that. And now it seems like she understands everything that's going on, which was a little weird. But I don't know. I guess I must have missed something. But cool. All right, so let's dive back. That's the question that I had. It was bothering me ever since I was watching this at work. I was supposed to be working, but I was watching the boys.
Ooh.
Hey, gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. All right, so yeah, so we see Kamiko teach Frenchie the sign for a gun. So how important was this moment of Frenchie finally learning some form of communication, or her agreeing to kind of sort of teach Frenchie how to communicate? So let's talk about the importance of this relationship and this development. Desiree.
Yeah, I think it was very imperative because clearly Frenchie likes her. And I do believe that she likes him as well. So for them to be able to finally, break that barrier and kind of communicate, because he's been wanting to learn, how to communicate with her for a very long time. He's been very patient. So I think by him sort of reflecting on his story with his mother, father, and just sharing that with her, in some ways she can sort of relate. And I think that kind of opened her up a bit to communicate with him and teach him a thing or two. So maybe we'll see that more, her teaching him how to communicate with her and vice versa. I love it. And I hope their relationship continues to grow.
I think yeah, uh, exactly what she said. I think the relationship's gonna grow. It's kind of rock steady right now. We're trying to figure it out. I think trying to figure out each other. Um, but you can clearly see that she does like him, and
Yeah.
he's told her for months that I like you. So it's gonna work out, but we don't know how. But I think they make a great team. And I think they're gonna do a mission uh together sometime, like another episode or something. And I would like to see that, them team up, just kick some butt and try to find a way to take Bot down.
Cool. Corey, what do you think about the whole developing relationship between Kamiko and Frenchie, the greatest character on The Boys?
Of course, he is the greatest character on the board. As I said before, he's my spirit animal. But I was totally muted. Um, but he is the greatest. He's my spirit animal, as I said before. But that was needed. I think that was needed because like that's all he wanted, and she understood like that's all he wanted. So she's finally like breaking that barrier down, so they can have that communication.
And it's about time she earned that. I mean, it's about time French earned that trust because even though he was trash early on in the season when trying to kiss her after her brother was viciously murdered in front of her eyes. But then again, I don't. Did Frenchie know that she saw it because there was no way for those two to communicate? So now that I think about it, he may not have. He knows that her brother is dead, but I don't think he realized that he. I don't think she realized that he was murdered in front of her. So
Right.
maybe okay. Oh dang. So
But
maybe
like
all
he
along it was
said,
Frenchie.
he was only trying to comfort her in her time of need. And if that's the
That
only
was a
way you know how to
terrible way to
give
comfort
comfort, just
somebody,
if
though.
that's the only way you know how to give comfort to somebody, that's the only way you know. I
Yeah, he
mean,
didn't really know for a long time how to comfort her. And I think sometimes he might have come, well, at least from her perspective, he came at it, the wrong way. At sometimes he was a bit forceful, but he didn't really know. And he's like, hey, like, I'm just here for you. How can I communicate with you? How can I make this relationship between us better? And
Yeah,
she was shut down for
yeah,
quite some time. So,
and
Yeah.
understandably so.
I, I love the fact that they're actually developing their relationship like that. Because I've been a Frenchie fan since the first season. RJ's been saying Frenchie's trash, and I've come to
Who said
Frenchie's
that? I
aid
didn't say that.
because that's my team. That's been my team since season one. But it's at this point now, it's just good to see their character development, because their relationship is going to evolve, and it was going to evolve from the beginning. So now that you actually see it flourish in throughout past few episodes. Now the fact that she showed him a sign is big for their relationship, because now it's showing that I'm feeling like she fully trusts this guy.
Mm.
Like he's been fighting behind, fighting beside her since they've been getting it down on with the boys. But now that she actually showed him a sign, it's a big sign to us that that character development, that relationship development, is actually going to reach its peak and where it's actually going to go.
Right.
Yeah,
Guys,
I
we've
agree.
got, I don't know what happened. We got rid of the echo, whatever happened.
Okay, no echo.
Okay, I don't know what
Word,
happened, but
that's awesome.
hopefully it'll stay gone, whatever we did. Cool job troubleshooting. Only took us half a show.
Oh
It
my god.
happens.
At least it
It's
happened. At least
it
it happened.
happens, man. It happens.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
it is what it
Um
is.
so let's dive into Mother's Milk going with Grace Mallory to get Dr. Vogelbaum to testify. And we see that they're unsuccessful, and that's not really what I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about the conversation they had after. As we know, Mother's Milk not abandoned, but he left his family to go do this work with the boys and take down Vought and corrupt superheroes. How important was this for him? Because I feel like I saw Mother's Milk processing this as she was offering to give him a one-way ticket to Nicaragua and help him disappear. How important was this conversation, Harrison?
I think it's really important. Honestly don't know what it's going to lead to, but I think it's important because with Mother's Milk, what he all he's trying to do right now, I feel like he's just trying to get back to his family. He's doing whatever it takes, and but he's still trying to help his friends within that because he knows that for him it will benefit him because he can help other people that will maybe help him out in the future. And I think that relationship is definitely like really deep. And I think that Mother's Milk is just dragged himself into so many situations that he don't want to be in. Like I mean, even like a couple episodes ago, he had the yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't want
The
to.
penis neck.
Yeah, I was like, man, I feel bad for you, dude. I wouldn't know what to do after that. I wouldn't call myself Mother's Milk. I know that. I wouldn't call myself that
That's the
anymore.
worst name
But
ever.
yeah, I think yeah, I agree with that. I think he's too loyal to his friends. But I mean, again, like, I really don't know to say. It's tough.
I mean, honestly, like, love y'all to death, but I'm out.
Yeah.
I probably would take that deal at this point, especially after people's heads was popping in Congress. Nah, man, like, yeah, y'all gonna have to forget about me. Sign over the silver site to one of y'all, and I'm out. I'm not.
But
I'm
see,
not doing that.
but see, I kind of understand that, because like Picard said, like he's too loyal to his boys to just leave, even though he has his family waiting on him, and he wants to get back to them so badly.
Yeah,
I
he
feel
does.
like the military mindset where these are your brothers, so you got to ride or die. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I feel like it's just that aspect of his thinking. Like these are my boys. Like military mindset. These are my boys. If they go in, I have to go in with them. If they go out, I have to go out with them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Right. Yeah. And I mean, like, he has a huge mission here because not only is he trying to, do this for his boys and get back to his family, but he is trying to, do right by his father because he saw,
oh, okay.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
we forgot about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is for his dad as well.
Ooh, that's
So this
deep.
is an
That's
even
deep.
bigger, yeah. So
Yeah.
he,
He
in a
mentioned that
way,
in the
I feel like
Liberty
he
episode.
can't stop,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
Mm,
He knows, with that militant mindset that this is what he signed up for, and he has to see that mission through. And I think he's fighting that internally.
wow. Okay. Wow. Look at us. This is what I be talking about. We be
This is
going
why we
Yeah.
talk.
somewhere.
yeah.
So I want to let's get deeper into some more I guess, ingrained childhood trauma. Let's talk about Butcher. We see he receives a call that that his father has passed away, and he shows up, and apparently his father's not dead. They get into a conversation, they get into an altercation, and we kind of, and I think I hit on this last week where Butcher has this disdain for Homelander, yet he's so much like him in so many ways, and I see that he has the same disdain for his father, but he's also just like his father. So I'm gonna kick it to Corey on this one, and I want you to tell me, how do you feel about this interaction between Butcher and his dad?
I just think um, it was just coming. Like it was just one of those things that were just coming, you know. So they got to let out some emotions about his brother and how he always thought his brother was softer than Butcher, and how Butcher like was like such a hard ass, and how he created him to be that hard ass from doing what he did to him at an early childhood. Clearly,
Yeah,
so um, I just think this interaction is like it's perfect. Probably like that's exactly how it would go if it were like real.
it makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he didn't kill him. I'm glad he's gonna let cancer do that for him. But
Mhm.
it's good.
I thought he was gonna toss him over the rail,
Me
honestly.
I
too.
did too at first, but
I
I'm
was
glad
really
he
scared.
didn't.
I was really scared.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
Lou,
know.
what you think about it?
I think that
Oh, go ahead.
anytime like you see Butcher come in and do this little like shoulder shake. I think anytime you see him do that, that's how you know it's about to get real. So I agree with you. I think he's gonna toss him out the roof. But my second thought was he's just gonna just beat him to death because he doesn't know how to control himself at times. And but I mean, yeah, he's definitely a reflection of his pops. I mean, he said even his pop said, I was a little too hard on you or whatever. But I mean, it made you who you are. So I think Butcher needs to just accept that. I mean, I think he's trying to accept that. I think he knows who he is, but I think he still has a little bit of kind of like a bad reflection off of his dad.
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of still feeling everything from what his dad did to him, like what Corey was saying when he was a kid.
Okay. Agreed.
Right.
Wholeheartedly. So we see after Mallory and Mother's Milk are unable to get him to testify, he gets a call from them, and they tell him that, and he goes and he actually makes, which is in true Butcher fashion, Butcher being Butcher. He's not like Huey in the slightest. He's just gonna straight up tell you like, "Yo, you're gonna do what I need you to do. I'm gonna kill your family." And it's Butcher's growing on me a little bit because I think sometimes he's a little too much for me, and that's kind of why I just get put off by Butcher. But I like the fact that when things need to get done, he's the one that will do it. He'll cross that line, and I think that speaks to just exactly how his father raised him. He at one point he says, "You're the toughest person you know, right? You're the hardest person you know, right?" Like it kind of just confirms that he raised him exactly how he set out to raise him. So let's jump in. Let's move along and jump into Huey, Starlight, and Lamplighter. So we see Huey and a depressed Lamplighter set out to rescue and capture Starlight. Now it starts out
What do you
with
guys think about the plethora
Of porn.
of
dude.
oh
No,
those weird
title.
names?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, he read one of the titles. It said, he said something. Do you want to watch? Do you want to watch the deep does it in the blowhole? And it cuts to a character of the deep holding an inflatable dolphin, and it takes me back to it took me back to that time when the deep was trying to save the dolphin,
Yes.
and
Yeah, yeah.
like
Yeah.
he can hear the dolphin, and he's like, "We can't do the thing right now." Like, and then to see him and see the character on the porn holding an inflatable dolphin, yo, that was
Mm.
hilarious to me.
Oh my God.
Mm.
Oh.
I'm
This
I,
like,
show
are we
never
watching
surprises
HBO?
me.
Is this
Seven
HBO
seasons
right here?
surprised me.
Yeah.
He got problems. Too many.
And man, poor Huey, man.
Well, I will say about Huey in this episode, he wasn't covered in blood because in every episode he's covered in blood.
Yeah.
So shout out to Huey for not being
Every
covered in
episode.
blood.
Well, he got a little blood on him, but he
Oh,
bled
yeah,
because he bled through.
yeah,
But at
start
least he didn't
bleeding.
get like splattered.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he ain't
But
Owen. He ain't zero blood.
but I also want to give a shout out to Huey for just pretty much just dropping his balls this episode.
Mm.
Yes.
He's sitting there trying to talk Lamplighter into doing this thing with him, and eventually he does. Like, let's go do this. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I don't want to be. Do you want to? Do you want to? Do you want to be the cuckold, or do you want to be the guy banging the wife?
The cookie,
Right.
would that be? Cookie?
No,
Right.
that is the bit.
Or
Ah,
the
okay.
or the
That was
cuckold.
pretty much the last conversation. Yeah, that was pretty much
If
the
it-
last conversation they had because he burned after that. So it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like they should no documentary, no nothing before that. Like they should have at least helped him out, get his story out, let him, talk about Vought, and then take yourself out, I guess.
yeah,
I don't think that was his plan anyway. I think his plan was to find a way to kill himself because you can tell
Yeah.
he's smoking cigarettes, watching porn, drinking beer.
He
You
wanted
could
to.
tell he was depressed.
He
Yeah.
was eating pizza and smoking. How disgusting.
But he wanted to sacrifice himself in front of his
His
statue
statue, yeah, he said that later
as
on. It's-
memoriam or something. Memorandum.
I think I caught it on my second watch because I think the first time I saw it, I was like, why did he just randomly do that? But then when I went back and watched it again, I saw that he was depressed. Like from the
Yeah.
time he was talking to Congress about what he went through with Stormfront and kind of like ratting her out. It definitely how can I put it? It ended up. Sorry, I lost my place. What was I saying?
Get it together, Reggie.
you're saying,
It was a really good point, and I was trying to figure out how to word it.
It's all
I'm trying to
good.
figure
You
out how to
think
word
like to end up somewhere.
Yeah, moving on, whatever. So let's move on because it was a really cool point. It was really good. I'm gonna remember after we hit end live. I
Is it
guarantee
now?
you it.
Oh God.
But
That's all right.
damn, that's gonna bother me. I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. But okay, so let's go and we move on to Starlight and her annoying mom. So she ends up sitting in the coffee shop with her mom, and Black Noir comes in. Now, was it me, or do you feel like the conversation, the communication between her mom and Starlight was not there? Because I feel like if that was my mom and I was not talking to my mom, I would say, hey, I'm not talking to you right now. However, do not tell Vought anything about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just me that thought that Starlight was wrong for that, right? You could have told your mom, like, don't talk to them.
But at the same time, her mama need to go sit her ass down somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Steady talking to the people from Vault. It's like sit your ass down. Let me do me. I'm an adult. Like I don't need you to micromanage my shit. Just go sit down.
Yeah. Like, mind your business. You couldn't call my job and put in PTO
Right.
for me.
When she was in the thing talking about, yeah, I talked to people from Vault and blah blah blah. I was like, man, go sit your ass
Yes, I was
down.
struggling.
Right. She's just one of those mothers that be doing too much. Like, why? Why did you do
Yeah.
that?
Mind your business.
Yes.
And it's the second time she did it. The
I
second
see how she
time.
be popping up. It's like, what do you want? What do you hear?
Yeah.
I feel like
you
I feel like she's one of those type of moms that's trying to make up for what she did in the past. Because she's trying to be there now. Because in the earlier season, she was trying to repair that relationship. We already saw the relationship was kind of messed up because of what she found out that she had those powers and all that. So I just feel like that she's trying to prove something and it's just not working out either. And she wants it to work so bad, and she's just doing unorthodox things to get herself there because she knows that she wants to make Starlight still feel special, um, even though she didn't make her feel special when she was a child. So
Mm.
I think it's messed up though.
I agree with Hero because that's
Yeah.
exactly what's going on. She's just trying to get back in her good graces for being found out that it was all it was all fake. Like you weren't born a superhero. So
Right.
And I guess
it,
in that instance, it's like it's sort of like when you know you're wrong, you want to apologize, but the person isn't trying to hear it, isn't trying to make you let it, isn't trying to let you make it up to them. And I guess she's at a point where it's like, hey, I got to do what I have to do. So I still think she kind of still crossed the line with calling her job. Mind you, how she know Starlight had any PTO?
I'm
You
done.
ain't about to put in no vacation day for me, cause y'all know I'll take off work in a heartbeat.
Yo.
Yeah,
Ask Alexa. I got what 8 hours of I got 1 day of PTO, and if my mom called my job and used my 1 day up, nah, man, we
Oh,
about to have problems.
oh
We
right.
about
yeah,
to have problems,
oh yeah.
big time, big time.
Goodness.
So, so we mentioned it earlier. We see Huey and Lamplighter, head to VOT headquarters, and I don't know if you guys caught it, but I feel like Lamplighter is a pedophile. Like when he said that he used to sneak college girls in there. Oh, at least they were applying for college. That
right.
means you're
At
dating
least
high
they were
schoolers, bro.
applying for
Like you're like
college.
30
Yeah,
something.
I paused at that part too.
Yeah, I was like, bro, like what are you doing?
But aren't they all pretty sick in their own little way?
Yeah,
Yes.
They're
that's
Yeah,
true.
but I think that's like a little more.
all the men of the seven are all pretty sick in their own little way. Like the only thing about A Train, he didn't get into the whole. I don't know what he was doing, but he was doing a lot of he was shooting a lot of compound B.
Yeah,
But everybody else, all the men, they were pretty sick in their own way.
yeah,
And they
Yeah,
and they even
definitely.
said Lamplighter banged like half the cheerleading team or something. Or
Hmm.
some team. I don't know if you guys caught that part.
I did. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I cussed that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
hey,
I feel like that's.
yeah,
See, I just feel like everyone has their darkest secrets. Just because, especially with Starlight and A Train, like in the last few episodes and stuff, I feel like they are trying to not tell each other secrets because as the meeting was about to happen at the end, with everyone coming in, secrets about to be revealed, but obviously everyone's head popped off, so now nothing's going to happen unless they dig deeper now or ask more questions because we don't know who's doing this or what's going on. Because
mm,
anytime this is the second time it's happened, we're just like, what the hell?
There's
That shocked me. I don't know what's going on, but
there's gotta be somebody pushing a button somewhere.
I think I
yeah,
have a theory. I don't know if it's true, but I'm just gonna reveal it. I think that it could possibly just be Stan Edgar. I don't know. I have a feeling. I can't really explain it, but
I just
I
I
agree to that.
I just feel
ooh,
like the
It
chip, the chip, that little tracking chip that everybody has. I feel like that's what's blowing. Like
that
if
might
at
have the propensity to blow them up.
right,
Oh,
I feel like if at any point you've had some kind of dealings with bot industries, they place that chip in you, and somebody, like I said, somebody somewhere is pressing a button to blow these heads off because them things was popping like birthday balloons.
yeah.
so I guess Starlight is safe then, right? Because didn't she take it out in the last episode?
that's true.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
I actually like to go with your theory, Desiree, with Edgar having that power. Since he was so fearless whenever Homelander approached him, right? Like
Oh,
if he can just blow people's heads up, he's like, yeah, I can talk to you any way I want.
he's getting Carlo. He dog walked him. Okay,
Right.
he showed him who's boss, who's the real boss.
For real. No games in here.
Yep.
So let's talk about so we Huey ends up freeing Starlight and she runs into Black Noir and correct me if I'm wrong, so like no one gets any kind of fighting training because
Black Norris, Debo, and
literally
everybody.
yeah, but I mean she didn't it looked like he was fighting a regular person. She didn't put up
Yeah.
no kind of effort.
He
And you know
didn't
how
even
like when you watch like WWE and they be
hours.
having the wrestler's head and they be like, yeah, yeah. It's like all you saw was the
It's not even
ponytail.
her
Like,
powers or
dude,
anything. Like she did. I don't feel like she tried to fight back at all. Like, and it's weird. And I found it hilarious that Black Noir's weakness ended up being the almond joy.
The tree nut allergy.
A
Oh my god.
freaking almond joy.
And there
hey,
should be no more almond
there shall be
joys.
no more almond joy slander hence now and forevermore. Amen. We're not gonna slander almond joys no more because almond joys save the day.
But what if we're just
Always
like
save the
Black
day.
No, I'm
Noir
sorry.
and we're just allergic to the tree nuts and like
Yeah,
we just
tree
don't get
nut.
along with almond joys? What about
Listen,
that?
listen, listen, listen.
Man,
Almond joys are the best
No,
candy ever made. You know what?
I can't. I'm sorry.
Remove. Remove.
Oh my god. Oh, oh, that was great.
Yeah,
oh, man.
Y'all will not slander almond joys on this show.
that was awesome.
Come
Oh,
on.
That was good. I'll
We're
give you.
talking
That
about
was
men and powers. Look at that.
good. Oh, man.
all right,
That's
Homelander, calm
that's
down
that
there
Right,
now.
button.
right.
That's that button.
Black
That button
Noir's
Edgar was pressing
Homelander.
to pull everybody's heads up.
I'm
Reggie on
telling
that
you, y'all
button.
not gonna talk about my almond joys, man.
I,
Y'all not gonna
I just
do
think
it.
it's funny how, like, that's his kryptonite. Well, not really kryptonite, something that's like a cure, but that in that fight, I agree with you, Lou. I just feel like she wasn't trying. I'm watching it, and I'm just like, Star, like, what are you doing right now? Like, you got to get it together, and she's just getting punched in the stomach and punched in the face, punched in the knee, and I'm just looking at the screen like this. I'm just like one of those spectators that just putting my head down, like, this game is over. I'm just like, so. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe she didn't want to fight back, or maybe she knew that she was gonna die because Black Noir is a trained fighter.
Yeah, he pulled
I
his
agree.
best Mortal Kombat move there. Like, get over here. Like, he was.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
I
agree.
do, Loki. I felt bad for her. I did.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
did. Fuck that.
Starfire has
I
no
did.
hands because she's never fought like a superhero, a suit before. Like
True.
the only
yeah,
suit she's like ever like she had to fight A Train and stuff, but like she didn't really fight A Train because A Train wasn't at his full capacity or whatever. But she's never
True,
had to
true.
fight a soup. Like she's just fought regular people, and she's if I don't think she knows how to use her powers personally. So if I was her, I would always be charged up 100% to go and have a battery somewhere to
Yeah,
charge that
ready.
thing up too.
She gonna
But
have to train up or
she's
something.
struggling.
Like
She gonna have to
a
do
young
something,
Spider-Man.
man.
She's struggling.
But even still, like it was a well lit area. Why couldn't she use the power? Like she can
She was probably dizzy
absorb it. It
from.
was a well lit area, well lit office space. We got a plant over here in the corner, a few pillars for decoration. It was very well lit. Why?
Just haymakers getting thrown at you. Haymaker, haymaker.
Her
It's
ears were
great.
probably ringing. That's why she couldn't use nothing. She didn't know what was going. She didn't know where she was at. She probably thought she was getting jumped.
Black
That's how
Noir was
bad she
beating
was
that ass.
getting beat.
Black Noir was beating that ass.
She was like, how many of y'all jumped me? No, it was just Black Noir. It was just
That might
her.
as well have been 5 people.
You sure? You sure I ain't getting jumped?
yeah. That
Man,
was definitely a WWE SmackDown whoop your ass moment.
for real. Fatality all the way. So let's move on to the best part of this show, this episode, on and popping, where we got Dr. Vogelbaum and Ashley's assistant and what's his name, this other speedster,
Shockwave.
Shockwave, all got their heads blown up. Tell me your reactions when you saw when you just saw him randomly get, about to testify and his head just blows up. What were your initial reactions?
Why?
I was mad as hell.
Really?
I
Yeah.
was I couldn't believe it. I honestly was like, this is the perfect chance for them to get all the information that they need and expose everybody, and that happened.
Butcher was close. Butcher was close.
Hella close. Yeah.
It's
This
It,
frustrating.
close.
Yeah.
But
That's
isn't it crazy how like the popping of the heads doesn't just stop at the humans? Soups just get their head popped too.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep, that is
It's
a good point.
I don't get why Shockwave didn't run though. He was literally just standing there with his hands on his hips, like
where did he run?
Oh my!
There was nowhere for him to run. I do believe that whoever had some kind of dealings with bot industries at any point got some kind of chip or something put in them, and that's why, like I said, somebody's somebody's pushing a button somewhere that's making these heads pop, just like the the other FBI lady that got her head popped.
Yep, Rainer.
Right.
yeah.
She at some point I feel like she had some kind of dealings with bot industries, got something put in her, and that's how they're making these heads pop. It threw me off. I was like, oh shit. And it's like,
Yeah.
See, I go back and forth between thinking it was Cindy and thinking it's Vought because Cindy wasn't there when Rainer, well, that we know of. Cindy was still locked up in a mental ward, but she's out now. So it's like I go back and forth. I think maybe it might be the chip, maybe it might be, I don't know. I go back and forth, man, on who I think is blowing these people's heads up. But either
But
way, it
you
was
also
great.
have to think of it like Cindy's just another test subject, right?
Mm.
What if
Yeah,
they perfected how to make Cindy's powers, and then they're just distributing her powers to
Ooh,
Edgar or somebody up top? You know,
mm,
yeah.
somebody
That's
up top is like compiling like the Deadpool of all the vault, the
okay.
Compound V,
well.
the
Can she do that
Deadpool
to
Compound V.
Stormfront? She should do that to Stormfront. I'm just saying.
Now,
All right.
now, like I think Stormfront's an interesting character, but I'd be okay if she died.
Yeah,
I'd be fine with it. Yeah,
life goes on.
yeah,
Like,
we'll
Yeah,
be, the show will
we'd
go
be
on.
all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think all of us will be okay with that. It wouldn't phase us not
yeah.
one single bit. Yeah, so this whole episode definitely it was a little bit slower paced, but I feel like the ending justified everything that went on. So I want to get everyone's final thoughts on overall episode and what do you think will happen next episode or on the finale. How do you think the finale is going to play out? Or what do you want to see in the finale?
Hmm.
Loaded
I honestly,
question.
Yeah.
yeah, I honestly want to see somehow Butcher's son, but I mean, I know it's technically Homelander's son. Start uh, progressing his powers because, but I want him to use it for good. I mean, I know that'll take a while, but I do want to see his powers progress. I do want to see how they're going to get all this information now. Um, and they had said they have a meeting with Stan Edgar coming up. So I want to see how that goes and what's going to happen because that might be the whole answering to our questions of what's going on. So I want to
Yeah.
see what goes on with that.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought this episode was. I'll actually say it was one. It's probably my favorite,
Okay.
and I don't know. It was slow, but I feel like it's going to lead to something huge. So for the finale, I would like to see Stormfront suffer. I'm just saying.
Mm.
And
Just
I
put
would
it
like
out
to
there, huh?
yeah, I'm putting it. Yes, we are going to put that out to the universe. Same thing with Homeland. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I need to watch
Yeah,
Picard.
he might
Um,
show up. Yeah, showed up last show. Almost
yeah,
got
but
loot.
to me, Homelander is definitely the new villain.
Almost got it.
He's like Trump. So I would like
Hmm.
to see him get his karma.
Yep.
And I want to see Rebecca team up with Butcher because really I feel like he's the only person that she can call at this point because they have her child. So
Very true.
yeah, I want to see what happens with that in the next episode, hopefully.
Okay, Corey.
Yeah, that would be nice to see Rebecca and like call Butcher for the help because like she has nowhere else to turn at this point.
Yeah.
She can't turn the bot. But yeah, this was great, but I would like to see some closure, and I'd
Yeah.
like to see Edgar because I don't think he was present in the hearings, was he? Like, was he there during Congress?
No, he wasn't.
No.
I
He
don't know where
wasn't
he was
there,
at.
so I'd like to see Edgar, and I'd like to see what he's been up to. But
Yep.
um, And yes, I would like some retribution for everyone,
Yeah.
all the Asian folk.
Okay. Okay. Oh, Black Noir gets an EpiPen.
That is
That
hilarious.
is
Yeah.
funny.
Did you see the
Is
one
he dead?
about Starlight being a Karen? Starlight's mom. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That was hilarious.
Hey, is Black Noir dying, or does he have a spare pen that he's gonna whip out or something?
as far as you know, he's curled into a little ball, dying on the ground.
Right.
Inch away
I
from his EpiPen.
The same way when he saw the headline, what was it? Superheroes aren't born or something like that. And he was just sitting there crying like.
Oh yeah,
hey
yeah,
hey
yeah.
I'm telling y'all, Black Noir is deep, y'all. That was emotional. He got. I want to see his backstory.
He's a complicated person.
Layered, man. I feel like Black Noir is layered.
He can't
Definitely.
have appetizers either. So I mean,
Right. I personally, I want to see, being a fan of Frenchie, I want to see where that goes because I believe Hero mentioned earlier that Kimiko and Frenchie were going to do uh, go on a mission or something. So if they're going to go on a mission, then I would definitely like to see that. I want to see what's going to happen with Becca and what she's going to do to get her son back, because she's going to have to do something to get her son back from Stormfront and Homelander. Lastly, I do want to see, now that the leader of the Church of the Collective is going to meet with Stan and Edgar. I want to see what's going to culminate out of that. If it's going to be where my theory, where the Church of the Collective is going to go against law, is that's going to come to fruition, or if in some way, form, or fashion they're going to team up with each other to do whatever they want to do.
Okay. Those are all
yeah,
good final thoughts.
I agree with that.
My what I think is going to happen, and what I want to happen, is I'm kind of on the same page with Desiree in the sense that I feel like Stormfront has done too much for her to just get away scot free. But in the same breath, I understand that it seems like the universe rewards bad behavior and bad people. So I feel like something's gonna happen and she's gonna get away scot free, or somebody that is a beloved character is either gonna get really, really injured or they're gonna die. I just have this gut feeling that in my stomach that I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I feel like either Starlight or Huey is gonna go,
Mm,
or be gravely injured. Um, as far as the Church of the Collective, I don't think anything's gonna happen with them this season. I feel like we're building up to something probably in season 3 or 4. But I would like to see A Train attempt to pull the deep out of the Church of the Collective. Belinda says, "I just want Frenchie to take a shower. He always looks
thank
greasy."
you, Belinda.
He does. Look. I'm Team Frenchie now, Belinda. Don't be slandering the homie.
Well, look, he need to lay off the drugs. Just saying.
Look, Frenchie be turning. All right, come on.
That's
That. When I tell you, like, I don't think I've ever had like a character turn around where I hate a character and now I'm like pro this character. So I feel like me and Frenchie, like, he might be my spirit animal. I know Corey relates to him on that level, but I definitely am Team Frenchie now. But also hope that we get to see Kamiko and Frenchie grow a little bit more as the in the season finale. So those are my thoughts and predictions for the end of season 2.
word. Yeah, I feel like you judged Frenchie a little bit too early, but we'll save that for the next
I
episode.
gave him 2 seasons. Took him
we'll,
2 seasons, but I
we'll,
came around.
we'll save that for next week's episode. Speaking of, we have come to the end of this week's episode of the Silver Side Live. We want to give huge shout outs to Hero Harrison and Desiree from Movie Vibes with Desiree. Before we close out, just tell the people, your social handles, where we can find you, what kind of projects you got coming up next, what can we expect?
All right. Well, you guys can find me on Instagram, Desiree Geraldine _. Also Facebook, just Desiree Geraldine. I'm still doing my acting thing, which is why I've decided to sort of slow down with movie vibes with Desiree. So yeah, just look out for Desiree Geraldine. I do have a movie coming out to theaters pretty soon, and yeah, you'll see more of my face.
Hey, there we go.
Hero.
Yeah, you can still follow me at Hero Harrison Talk on Instagram. My Gmail is Hero Harrison Talk at gmail.com if you ever want to any suggestions for the show that we can talk about. Uh, Other than that, I got Facebook and I'm just Jacob Ark on there, ARCK, and I got a game coming up this month for my semi-pro league. So that's going to be October 20th through the 22nd. So I'm just getting ready for that.
Cool. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's dope. Word. So y'all heard it here. Y'all know where to find them. Make sure y'all go look them up. Go follow them on whatever social medias y'all use. At the same time, go make sure you follow us, subscribe. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All of them are pretty much the same except Twitter, where on Twitter the at is I am Silversight. Everything else is the
Working on
Silversite.
that. We're working on that. We rebranded. We're working on some
Make,
stuff there. Somebody
oh yeah.
took the Twitter
Make
handle.
sure you join us next week where we are being joined by our special guest, Sharon on Pay or Wait. The show will be next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you're not on the East Coast, whatever 8 p.m. Eastern Time is on your side, that's what time we'll be up. So you make sure you you make sure you log on and we want to appreciate all the viewers that we had with us today, everybody that's been commenting, keeping up with the conversation. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Much love because without y'all, we wouldn't have anything. So we trying to keep this thing going. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. And until next week, we are gone. It's
All
always
right.
gang.
Later
Wow.
days. We out.
Bye.
See ya.